audience is watching this video, so as a teacher, what do you want to tell them to improve their English if they are especially at beginner level?
Okay. I would like to tell them to keep working hard on their
Mhm.
English. Don't give up, because when I started, I remember that I always felt like the black sheep in in the classroom, and I didn't have facility with English. I thought that English was very difficult, and it's not difficult. It's just a matter of practicing it and trying to put together like what you like and English. So if you put these two things together, like you said, if you like sports, watch something related to sports. If you
Mhm.
like comedy, so why not watching a comedy series? And so doing things in English that
Mhm.
are things that you like doing in your own language. So you're going to have fun. It's not going to be annoying, and you're going to learn English as a result. And
Mhm.
when you see, you're going to be speaking. So this is my special tip for students who are starting to learn English. Don't give up and try to put these two things together, what you like and English.
Know about you.
Okay, so my name is Karina, and
Mhm.
I've been an English teacher as a second language for 10 years. I'm
Okay.
Brazilian,
Yeah.
and I started teaching very like when I was very young,
Mhm.
and I've been teaching since then. Nowadays, I have a school, an English school in Brazil where I live, and I teach my students using natural method or direct method. So it means that we have conversation classes all the time. First
Mhm.
of all, of course, I teach them vocabulary,
Mhm.
like very simple vocabulary with simple questions and answers. And with few months, they are already able to have a simple conversation in English. So we start talking actually, and they keep improving from then. Of
Mhm.
course, I teach some grammar, but I don't teach like this is the grammar and then we speak about it. We generally include the tenses while we are speaking.
Mhm.
So they learn both vocabulary and grammar and speaking and listening like all together.
Mhm. Yeah. So, what do you think? Which is the most important thing in learning English, whether a vocabulary or grammar?
Uh, well, I think that vocabulary is more important because
Mhm.
if you know words, you can speak, you can communicate, and when you start speaking, you start understanding more about the grammar as well. Like if you want to speak in the present or in the past or in the future. So it's a process, in fact. I think that when the student starts to learn English, um, they don't need to know everything and then they start talking. No, they should start talking and they will have a lot of mistakes, both vocabulary and grammar, and then they will improve them while they speak.
Mhm. So that is one thing that I also always tell to the people or my students that yeah, you don't have to be perfect first. First try to speak in English. Don't try to be perfect because most of people think that when they will have adequate number of vocabulary, they will know the grammar rules, then only they will be speaking English. But I think this is delusion. Even if you will have everything, but you don't know how to express, you can't. So I think a speaking journey start with the first day. Even you have to not care about vocabulary or grammar. Just you have to speak whatever you have. I think so.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And which suggestions would you give to someone who is starting to learn English? Which
Uh,
tips?
I will give him two tips. First is that he must start listening. It doesn't matter. He must listen the things that is of their interest. If they like watching a sports, then they must watch something in a sports. If they like movies, they must watch movies. If somebody likes political speech, then they watch these things. But they must find one interested area and they start listening. And second one is they must collect vocabularies as much as possible. Two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And do you like reading as well? Do you read in English?
Yeah, I read. And perhaps for every day, even today, for an hour, I read.
Okay, this is
Mm,
great. Yes, because I think that to get vocabulary, you need to be in touch with the language, right? So
mhm.
listening and reading are very good skills to get vocabulary.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
And yeah,
mhm.
please go ahead.
Go with your question first.
Okay, I was going to ask you again about being a teacher,
Mhm.
because at first I didn't hear you well. So, are you an English teacher nowadays, or do you teach anything else?
Nowadays, just I'm an English teacher. But
Okay.
before 6, 7 months, I had been teaching so many subjects. But now, right now, I left teaching all those subjects because I'm interested in English, and I love English now.
Okay. And do you teach Indians, or do you teach people around the world?
Right now, I can say that most of my students are Asian. Okay, they are from my neighbor country like Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, and India. But
Okay.
I don't know about future.
Okay. And do you teach them just online, or do you teach face-to-face classes as well?
Yeah, in my town, still I'm taking the offline classes, but the I already told you few students are from other countries, so I'm teaching them online.
Okay. Yes. Good. Nice.
Mhm.
You have a good English. You said that you don't realize when you're using the grammar tenses, but I can see that you use some more advanced ones sometimes. And it's good to know that it's natural. You're not thinking to use them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
So,
And yeah, go ahead, please. Ask your
so
question.
how did you start your English journey? Because it is your second language. And when did you start?
When did I start to learn English or
Yeah.
to teach? Okay. So, well, here in Brazil, we generally study English for long years, like for many years.
Mhm.
And when you travel, so the people generally tell us like, how come English is very easy? Why do you take so long to study English in Brazil? Unfortunately, we don't have good English classes at regular school. We have
Mhm.
this subject at school, but it's not well taught. It's like it's just there, but we don't learn much from these classes. And so when I was a kid, my parents enrolled me to an English school,
Mhm.
and I remember I started learning something, like playing, because I was very young, and playing and learning something like colors, animals, and so on. But it
Mhm.
took so long. And then I spent about like 7 years studying English because I was very young. I think it was from when I was 6 years old, I started, and then I stopped studying at these two schools like when I was 13. And but I didn't speak really well. I had like intermediate level. And I decided to start practicing in a different way, like speaking. So I looked for another school, and there was a school that they had conversation classes every day. So then I studied there for 1 year and a half, and then I could say that I reached the advanced level, and they invited me to start teaching there
Mhm.
after I finished the course. And then I started teaching them there, and it has been 10 years since then. I've never stopped, and I feel that I have been learning every day. So I teach every day, online classes and face-to-face ones as well. And I've been learning English every day because there's always new vocabulary to
Mhm.
learn, and I wouldn't say new grammar stuff because I have a good knowledge of them, but
Mhm.
vocabulary is like they don't finish, they are infinite.
Of
There's,
course.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
every day you will be passing new vocabularies, and yeah, I have seen it.
yes, like sometimes I'm teaching some business vocabulary and I don't use them every day, like in my regular life. So I learn a lot while I'm preparing the classes to teach my students.
Mhm.
So, well, I've in the past, if I look at my past, like when I was a kid, I had no idea that I was going to be a teacher and English was going to be one of the most important things in my life, because now
Uh-huh.
it's I'm talking also about my career and having a school and so on. But well, I have such a passion for English, and I like studying English and teaching every day.
That's great. So, you have been learning in English medium school since your childhood, while you were kids, while you were kids. So yeah, I can understand that you would not have faced lots of difficulties that I have faced in my life in learning English, because when you past your high schooling, you become matured, and after all, if you are going to learn new language, then yeah, it is difficult, because the most difficult thing is that even I was not familiar with the words. So instead of saying about, I was saying about, or something like this. Okay, instead
Yeah.
of saying instead of saying instead, still I think pronouncing right, not rightly,
Instead,
instead,
right?
yeah. So instead of saying instead, I say instead. And reason is that I had never been correction with these words. Just I'm uh, guessing the pronunciation of word according to their words, alphabet. So I don't know about the sound, but right now I'm learning sound. That these are the alphabet. Just we have to learn the sound. English has
Yeah,
sound, not alphabet. Yeah.
yeah. And I guess that you said something very important some minutes ago about listening.
Yes.
Because when you listen, when you watch things in English, your pronunciation gets better as well. Because
Yeah.
naturally you start imitating the people that you listen.
Mhm.
So, uh, for example, during my free time, still nowadays, I watch series in English without subtitles, sometimes with English subtitles, depending on the accent. And I always learn a lot of vocabulary. And also, I see that my pronunciation is getting better as well. Because we speak English as a second language, right?
Mhm.
So I think that it's so hard for us to speak similar, like the same as the native speakers do. It's possible if we live abroad for a long time, but when we are living in our own country, we can do our best, but I don't think we will be able to speak really close to them.
Of course. So one thing, I think I had seen your one of the video. I have been touch with you since last 7 8 months. So I had seen your one of the videos 7 8 months ago, and I don't think that your pronunciation was as clear as it is today. So
Okay.
what have you been doing? What are you following to make your accent better? Because I need of it right now.
Okay. Well, watching, listening, and teaching. I've been teaching a lot, so this is the best practice. Because when you're teaching, you're practicing. And
Hmm.
if you watch, if you listen to things in English from native speakers speaking, so it's becoming natural, and you are getting better as well. I also went to Europe sometimes, and I think that when you have this opportunity to study abroad, at least for a
Hmm.
while, it doesn't matter if it's just for a week or 2 or 3, uh, it's also always worthy. So this is something else, but of course nowadays it's so difficult to travel, and because of all stuff around the world, so talking to native speakers is really nice, because you also improve your vocabulary and your pronunciation. So listening, watching, and teaching, this is my tip to get better about pronunciation.
Thank you. So yeah, of course, today I think my audience is watching this video. So as a teacher, what do you want to tell them to improve their English if they are especially at beginner level?
Okay. I would like to tell them to keep working hard on their
Mhm.
English. Don't give up, because when I started, I remember that I always felt like the black sheep in in the classroom, and I didn't have facility with English. I thought that English was very difficult, and it's not difficult. It's just a matter of practicing it and trying to put together like what you like and English. So if you put these two things together, like you said, if you like sports, watch something related to sports. If you
Mhm.
like comedy, so why not watching a comedy series? And so doing things in English that
Mhm.
are things that you like doing in your own language. So you're going to have fun. It's not going to be annoying, and you're going to learn English as a result. And
Mhm.
when you see, you're going to be speaking. So this is my special tip for students who are starting to learn English. Don't give up and try to put these two things together, what you like and English.
Okay. So this was the tips for the beginners. So what tips you will give to intermediate students?
Speak English somehow.
Mhm.
Sometimes, if you don't have someone to speak English with, so I remember that when I was studying English at the beginning, there were not like many YouTubers or people around the world who were willing to speak English, and it was
Mhm.
harder. So I used to speak to myself. It didn't matter if I was speaking right or wrong, but I
Yeah.
was practicing. So I
Mhm.
spoke to myself, I wrote
Yeah.
things in English, and then I started to implement English into my personal life. So
Yeah.
intermediate students, I think they should practice the way they can. There's no
Mhm.
excuses, you know. There's
Yeah.
always a way of practicing.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the one method that you described. That talking to yourself, I think yeah, it is the best method because in this method there is no problem. Even somebody cannot make you nobody can make a fun of you because sometimes what happens with beginners, they are afraid of speaking English. They think that if they will speak English in front of someone and if they will mock at them, so this is the I think yeah, when you start talking with yourself, then you start getting some confidence, and that build you for your future. Okay, it helps
Yeah.
you to speak in front of people in future. So this is the best method. I always love.
Yeah. You have a point. I agree with you. I remember I was scared to speak in front of others, and I used to do this, and it helped me. So it can help others as well.
Yeah. So thank you, Karina. Anyway, it was nice talking with you, and I hope in future I will definitely talk with you again.
Yeah, my pleasure, and I hope to see you again as well. Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Take care.